and thanks for joining us. I'm Wendy Ryan. 2024 was a hurricane season many will never forget. What started out quiet ramped up quickly in August. The Bay Area slammed by 3 storms in the final months of the season. And who can forget the flooding caused by Hurricane Debbie, which made landfall in Florida's Big Bend. But Debbie's rainfall left its mark on the Bay Area. Beaches along our coast saw major erosion. Then, just over a month later, Hurricane Helene battered our coastline again. The major storm was the strongest hurricane to strike the Big Bend in history. And flooding from that storm further damaged our beach communities, which were still struggling to recover from Debbie. Then just 2 weeks later, Hurricane Milton made landfall as a major hurricane in Siesta Key. The storm brought devastating flooding to much of the Bay Area. Entire communities that had never flooded before were left underwater. And who can forget these images we were the first to bring you? The roof of Tropicana Field ripped off by the storm. The stadium suffering major damage, which will cost millions for the city of St. Pete to repair. And it will not be ready for next season. So the Rays will now play at George Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. This hurricane season left its mark on Tampa Bay up and down our coasts. The Florida fishing fleet is still trying to bounce back. This is what it looked like in Cortez just hours after Hurricane Helene hit. ABC Action News reporter Michael Paluska shows us the resilience of that small fishing community as they're built to never give up.
The historic Cortez Fishing Village is one of the oldest working waterfronts anywhere in the state of Florida. They've been around for more than 120 odd years. Look at this boat, halfway underwater, taken out by these hurricanes. But locals tell me they love this place so much, they will never abandon it.
In Cortez, around every corner, it looks like a postcard of old Florida. Historic buildings, blue skies over sparkling water, teeming with life. But the wounds of this hurricane season are raw and all too real. Damaged boats, mangled docks, debris, loss. And behind the smile of a local who survived the storm, an underlying pain rarely shown.
Cortez, they're the most resilient people anywhere in Southwest Florida, in my opinion. Well, choked up saying that.
Lance Plowman is the owner-operator of Florida Fishing Fleet. His home flooded and his boat still docked for repairs.
How hard has it been for you to see this community so devastated?
It's tough. You know, driving in was, I'm getting so choked up. Driving in after the first storm with all the water, we were down here at 11 that night rescuing people out of their houses in my jet boat.
It's been unreal for you.
It has. This really, honestly, the first time I had a real conversation about it.
Halloween.
Are you open
We
on
open on Halloween.
Okay.
At Starfish Company, we met Karen Bell, president of AP Bell Fish. She is a Florida icon in commercial fishing. She tells me some days are better than others, but the seafood restaurant is open, and all the grouper boats are out for the first time since the storm.
How'd that feel, seeing them go out?
Good, like go. You know? Well, anything back to normal is helpful, you know, but too, there's too many people, I can't say whining, but a little whiny, you know? And I'm like, I don't want to hear it. Go fishing. Just go fishing, get your, you know, go fishing.
And start making your money back.
Yeah, of course, that's what we do.
There's other commercial fishing communities. There's other commercial fishing communities, but this is ours and this is our home.
Mom of 2 and commercial fisherman Alexis Michelle was on kid duty during our interview, her husband back out at sea. Zion and Rhiannon already learning the ropes.
Your home was destroyed, your operations were destroyed at Cortez, and you really want this legacy to continue for the family?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, and I think that, you know, as of right now, they seem very interested in it. Like I said, they go crabbing with us and they go fishing with us. She's our animal lover. She loves fish, she loves crab.
Why do you do it?
Why do we do it?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, how do you not? We love it, you know, we love to be on the water. We love to serve people good food.
And the people of Cortez are the magic, keeping this old Florida gem frozen in time for generations to come.
How hard do you have to fight now to get back and
Well-
to make sure this place doesn't get taken over by developers?
Well, first of all, I'm I wouldn't sell still. I mean, even at this point, we really love what we do. It's important what we do as far as harvesting seafood for consumers. I think it's very important. I mean, it gives meaning to our jobs and our lives. But I think just you put one foot in front of the other.
In Cortez with photojournalist Reed Moeller, Michael Paluska, ABC Action News.
After the storms, the Tampa Bay community showed its true heart, neighbors helping neighbors recover and rebuild after the storm. Our ABC Action News Gives campaign raised thousands of dollars to help local nonprofit groups assist the communities in need. We know something as simple as a hot meal can make you feel like life is finally getting back to normal. This organization has been bringing the healing power of barbecue to hundreds of thousands of people in need right here in Tampa Bay. When we went out there this morning, they were cooking up 16,000 pounds of pork just for lunch. So we gave them a little surprise.
We have a gift for you for Operation Barbecue Relief. Open this up. We're really excited about this reveal. Go ahead, open it up. There you go, hold that out. We'd like to donate $5,000 to you at Operation Barbecue Relief.
$5,000 goes a long, long way for our mission, for us being able to, respond to these communities that are in distress.
Next up, a nonprofit that's become a lifeline for people in the Oldsmar community. There are homes in this area that took on 4 feet of water. Once Oldsmar Cares heard all about the need, they got to work immediately. They've been providing food, clothes, and essentials for those impacted. The need is great here and will be for some time, so we wanted to support them.
We'd like to present you with $5,000 to help you continue your mission.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oldsmar Cares is encouraging anyone who needs help to reach out and ask. Another important aspect to note about this storm, the impact it's had on our mental well-being. An organization that's making a difference is the Crisis Center of Tampa Bay. Since the hurricanes made landfall, they've answered an additional 2,500 calls from people needing assistance. Anything from mental health support to housing to FEMA help to getting connected to a variety of resources. We'd like to give the Crisis Center a $5,000 check.
Oh my God!
For all that you do for the Tampa Bay
Oh,
area.
thank you.
If you need help, you can call 211 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
We want to be there for you. We want to provide that support and resources that you need during this very, very difficult time.
Hurricanes Helene and Milton also damaged several schools in the Bay Area. We were out at the Pinellas Education Foundation today to talk about how important it is to get students back in the classroom and back to normalcy. The organization replaced everything in the affected school buildings, from school supplies to uniforms, and we wanted to thank them. We'd like to present Pinellas Education Foundation with a check for $5,000.
Oh, it is a surprise. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Can I give you a hug?
Last but certainly not least, most of us have experienced the pain of losing power and having to throw away most of what's in your refrigerator. And some people still don't have power. The University Area CDC has stepped in to provide food, showers, anything and everything people may need. We'd like to present University Area CDC with a check for $5,000.
Oh my gosh, can I give you a hug?
Of course.
Oh, wow.
We certainly hope this helps.
Oh my gosh, that's going to help us get some hotels for the kids and the families that need it.
In total, between your donations and our partnership with the Scripps Howard Fund, we were able to give out more than $72,000 to local nonprofit groups helping our community recover. Still to come, the long road to recover. 4 feet of water inside with the orchestra pit flooded out. Next, we're in Sarasota as the Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall finally prepares to reopen its doors. Plus, the hidden issue among all of the debris, the rodent problems in Shore Acres after the storms. Months after Hurricane Milton, the Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall in Sarasota is getting ready to welcome guests back to the theater. It had significant water damage, with some areas seeing up to 4 feet of storm surge. The orchestra pit, kitchen, dressing rooms, and production offices were all impacted, and the roof was also damaged. As a result, all performances through December were canceled. But crews have made significant progress, and they're set to have their first show back on January 4th.
We cannot wait to have our patrons back in the theater. It is what keeps us going day after day. We love having the hustle and bustle in here and people coming to see the shows. It makes us happy when we see how happy they are watching a show, so we cannot wait to welcome everyone back in January.
While they're still going through the repair process, the staff estimates it will be about $7 to $10 million in damages. We're following up on the piles of debris that sat outside homes in St. Pete's hurricane-ravaged Shore Acres community. Neighbors tell us those piles caused a new issue and a potential health concern: rats. ABC Action News reporter Larissa Scott has been reporting on the damage in Shore Acres, and she listened to people about this new problem.
We first reported on these piles of debris here in the Shore Acres community after Hurricane Helene pushed several feet of water into this neighborhood back in September, and they're still here. Not only are these piles making it hard for people to move forward, neighbors tell me they're now causing a rat problem.
Pile after pile on street after street. The debris seems endless in Shore Acres.
10-foot piles out there. People's entire lives.
I met up with Jonathan Miklish on Thursday. He lives in the neighborhood.
How hard has it been to see everybody's belongings, your neighbor's stuff all on the side of the street for weeks now?
Oh, it was horrible. I mean, I feel for some of these people. Everybody's in a different demographic, different thing, and there's people that'll never recover.
The Shore Acres community got hit hard by Hurricane Helene's record-setting storm surge in September. Hurricane Milton only made things worse in October. These debris piles have been sitting here for weeks, now causing a new problem.
We went from 0 rats, ever having a rat problem in the years I've been here, to now we have rats.
That's right, rats.
I've never had a rat problem. I've got rat feces. Just cleaned it up yesterday. It's back. We've got traps.
So far, they're not working.
Next door, I've seen rats running through their junk piles. Granted, my street isn't anything like any of the other streets. We've been very fortunate.
Which is why Miklish is worried the rats are worse on streets with even more debris.
The fact is, we all are dealing with rats now. We've never had that problem before.
Frustration is growing, so is concern that the rat problem is too. People are calling for Mayor Ken Welch.
They're already making jokes about the piles. They're calling them Welch piles.
A sign reading, "Where's Welch?" sitting on one pile. Neighbors wondering what's taking so long.
But the bottom line is, it becomes a health concern at some point if we don't get the trash picked up.
While we saw a claw truck when we visited the neighborhood last Thursday, people tell us the removal isn't happening fast enough.
We want it done as soon as possible. People just want to put it behind them and try to move forward and forget it. I mean, this was a heck of a storm.
And we did reach out to the city for comment on the rat issue and for an update on trash pickup. They haven't responded yet. Reporting in Shore Acres, Larissa Scott, ABC Action News.
Still to come, the spike in calls for help after the storms, and the nonprofits telling us they struggled to keep up. But first, we visit the Big Bend, where Hurricane Helene made landfall, and the community there is now more than 30 minutes away from any grocery store. We're getting images from the Big Bend of the damage from Hurricane Helene. This is what's left of the only grocery store in the city of Steinhatchee.
Maddie's Market has been the anchor of the community for a long, long time in terms of grocery items.
You don't realize how much it is a luxury to have a grocery store in your town until it's been taken away.
Neighbors say in town they can only shop in the Family Dollar and Dollar General stores. Otherwise, it's a 20-minute drive. The store's owner says he's planning to rebuild, but it wouldn't reopen until Memorial Day. Earlier this month, Citrus County declared 100 homes substantially damaged after Hurricane Helene. Now our Chad Mills talks with homeowners who are worried sick about what they'll do next.
I'm Chad Mills in Citrus County, where letters like this one are being mailed out, and about 100 storm victims are finding out they'll either have to demolish or elevate their homes.
They just want to live out the rest of their life in their home.
Here we go again.
The walls have already been gutted.
Almost 3 months after Hurricane Helene, A small Citrus County fishing village is bracing for a different kind of storm.
I'm very worried about it. It concerns me.
Normally paradise, right now, Ozello, is getting hit by a surge of uncertainty, a downpour of questions, a whirlwind of worry.
I'm worried to death for these people.
A storm brought on by a letter.
So this is it?
Yep.
In black and white, a message as menacing as a hurricane, one that could change lives, flatten homes.
The structure is substantially damaged.
Last week, roughly 100 homeowners like Aaron Hefty got the letter.
It's heartbreaking for us.
A letter that leaves him with an impossible choice. Using FEMA's 50% rule, Citrus County determined their homes are so damaged, they have 3 options: demolish their homes, elevate them, or relocate them. An impossible choice for Aaron and the husband and wife who live in this home, both in their 80s.
Where are they going? Where are these people going to live out their lives?
Aaron's ready for a fight, ready to push back against the assessments, some of which were done without even entering the homes.
Somebody has to stand up and initiate the situation and be the voice.
But there's no guarantee his fight will work against a force so powerful.
This structure should not be repaired to pre-flood conditions. That's not good.
A letter, a storm that could change this community forever. A very important point here, the decisions in these letters can be appealed. We posted all of that information from Citrus County on our website, abcactionnews.com. In Ozello, I'm Chad Mills reporting.
Still to come, the lesson we can learn from these Hillsborough County students, their mission to give back after the storms took everything they own. And later, more than 200 elderly residents sent to a church without any working air conditioning or food. Our I-team investigates what happened when a St. Pete nursing home evacuated during Hurricane Helene. Welcome back. The wrath of this hurricane season stretched far beyond its traditional end. The late season storms impacted a lot of communities, causing a record number of people to turn to nonprofit groups for help. And in Pinellas County, ABC Action News reporter Casey Albritton learned organizations themselves were then looking for extra help to meet that growing demand.
Yeah, we made a decision to stay here because we like being here.
Carlton Copeland says home isn't a roof over your head, but rather it's where the people you love are.
This is Chuck, one of the guys that work in our kitchen. What's up, Chuck?
Copeland and his wife have lived at Pinellas Hope for the last year. First in a tent, and now with some help, they have an apartment on the property.
Things started to get a little better. And then right after that, we had Hurricane Helene.
Pinellas Hope helps people who don't have housing, and the people who lived there had to be relocated twice during Hurricanes Helene and Milton.
I couldn't believe the devastation. Trees was gone, tents was gone. A lot of the platforms that we put the tents on, they had them flew away.
Copeland says since the hurricanes, it's been difficult for people to get back to their normal lives.
A lot of people got displaced during that hurricane. And they came here with nothing.
It's something nonprofits all over Pinellas County are seeing.
Especially those that were directly impacted out on the beaches. A lot of those folks have relocated inland in our area, and the demand for assistance and the demand particularly for hot meals is really risen as a result of the storms.
We're seeing a huge influx of phone calls from families specifically who were impacted by the recent hurricanes.
Leaders at St. Vincent de Paul Cares say an unprecedented amount of people showed up for hot meals on Thanksgiving.
Every year it's a struggle, but this year in particular it's been a huge struggle for us.
Ashley Lowry with the Homeless Empowerment Program says not only is there more need, but there are less donations.
Usually November and December are our biggest fundraising months when we get a big influx of donations. It has been a bit slower this year, understandably so because of the impact of the hurricanes.
Organizations say they need food, hygiene products, and clothing donations as we get closer to Christmas. And Copeland asks everyone to help if they can.
Even we're going to give. My wife and I are going to give. You know, we don't have much, but whatever we have, things that we have left over. When people was donating stuff to us after we moved and we didn't need things, we gave it back.
I'm Pinellas County reporter Casey Albritton, ABC Action News.
One of the hardest hit communities due to Hurricane Milton was the University area of Tampa. Many families there lost everything in devastating floods. But just in time for the holiday season, hope came back when a group of local elementary school kids received a holiday shopping spree. And how they spent their money is a lesson we can all learn from. Here's our Jada Williams.
How excited were you when you found out you were getting $100 from Target?
Real excited.
Tiari Ford says this was her reaction. Tiari, her two brothers, and another 17 students from Mort Elementary School hit the aisles of Target Friday, ready to shop their hearts out.
I want some shoes, a sweater, and some slime.
And in no time, shopping cart after shopping cart filled with toys and clothes. For so many kids, it wasn't all about them.
I love my family, and I just want to get them stuff because and most people, they don't have stuff, so that's kind of nice to do, is to get stuff for my family.
The students were treated to the shopping spree thanks to the University Area CDC.
I applied for a grant via Target, and we were one of the lucky winners as a nonprofit to afford this opportunity to the students.
The opportunity to shop comes on the heels of hard times in this neighborhood.
They have been through a lot with Hurricane Milton, so many of the kids that were selected were impacted directly by Milton. In addition to that, many of the students from the school have been selected because they are currently in a homeless situation.
And by their sides to shop, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office.
So a day like today where Target can help us come here with some of these families and some of these kids to give back to them, really words can't describe how that affects your heart to see a good thing like this happening at Christmas.
Judging from the excitement and the giant bags of goodies, it was an experience they won't soon forget.
What's then the best part?
Like the shopping and like meeting cops and stuff, and like buying stuff for other people. My favorite part was getting some new stuff in the slime.
In Tampa, Jada Williams, ABC Action News.
Elderly residents evacuated with no plan during Hurricane Helene. The tough images from inside a church and what our I-Team learned as we continue looking back on the 2024 hurricane season. Plus, our Nadine Yanis breaks down the cost of the season and how it compares with 2004. Thanks for staying with us as we look back on the 2024 hurricane season. So many in the Bay Area were impacted by the storms, and in the days after each storm, we all tried to navigate life. But our I-Team uncovered 283 elderly patients were left in a situation that's tough just to imagine. They were stacked side by side in a church without any working air conditioning or sufficient food. That's what state investigators say happened when a St. Pete nursing home evacuated residents without an approved emergency plan during Hurricane Helene. I-Team investigator Adam Mulser breaks down the troubling findings in a new report.
A day before Hurricane Helene, Pinellas County emergency officials ordered nursing homes and assisted living facilities in Zone A to evacuate.
And we want to make sure that we are protecting everybody in those at-risk facilities.
Take a look at the damage Hurricane Helene did to some of the 24 Pinellas County facilities located in Zone A.
We got blankets coming for you, okay? Do you guys want any water?
Milton packed another punch 2 weeks later when residents had to be moved again.
We're seeing every year or every other year these people being moved.
Attorney Jim Wilkes has represented thousands of clients in nursing home abuse and neglect cases.
These aren't cattle that you load on the back of a truck and take up to a higher pasture. That's the current model they're using.
A report released in November says Adventura at the Bay Nursing Home does not have an approved emergency plan. The report says the home's administrator sought a waiver from the Hurricane Helene evacuation order, but was denied.
I was given a call saying that they were moving him out, which it had been done before, and that it was going over to the church.
This woman, whose loved one lives at the facility, doesn't want to show her face because she fears retaliation.
They're in pretty bad shape, aren't they?
Yeah, including him.
The day before Hurricane Helene, buses and medical transport vans took 226 nursing home residents and 57 residents from the company's assisted living facility to King of Peace Metropolitan Community Church in Pinellas Park, which county emergency officials said did not have working air conditioning or a working refrigerator. The report said more than 20 residents remained in wheelchairs outside during inclement weather. John Medina works at a barber shop across from the church.
I did see quite a few people in wheelchairs, elderly. I wasn't really understanding what was going on.
They were obviously patients. They were in wheelchairs and on stretchers.
People on stretchers.
Yes.
This woman, who was hiding from an abusive ex-partner, sent us pictures of the buses.
All day long. It was a constant convoy of these vehicles all day.
These special needs transport vans,
yes,
dropping people off.
Exactly.
They call them medical buses, but they're not staying in the same environment.
911, what is your emergency?
The report says law enforcement responded after patients' family members called 911. They discovered residents on cots smaller than many of the residents' bodies, side by side, head to toe, with little room to walk between them. The report says that, quote, severely limited access by staff to provide resident care. The report says there was a lack of nutrition for residents. Memory care residents were wandering. One resident was wearing only a brief due to the heat, and another fell and fractured an arm. County rescue workers stepped in, relocating all 283 patients to a county-operated special needs shelter at Johns Hopkins Middle School, 10 miles away. When you found out that they had been moved a second time,
I just found out from you.
they didn't tell you?
No. No, nothing was said that they were moving for the second time.
Hurricane Helene wasn't the first time Aventura had issues with evacuations. Cynthia Rice says her mother, Hattie Hunt, lived at the facility for 2 years before her death in April at age 98.
She was evacuated twice. It was the same procedure 2 years in a row.
On a scale of A to F, how did they handle these emergencies?
Oh, I definitely would give them an F.
Rice says her wheelchair-bound mother was taken to St. Jude the Apostle Church.
The way my mother described it, they pulled the mattresses off the beds and took them out to St. Jude and put the mattresses on the floor.
So your mom's sleeping on the floor?
She slept on the floor. It sounded like it was very traumatic on my mother because she just described it as horrible.
An inspection report says an Aventura resident was injured when she fell in a van while being evacuated for Hurricane Idalia last year. Her face was down and her knees were touching the floor. She was squeezed into the sheets. I was unable to move her.
They need to be monitored with regularity, and it just can't happen in these scenarios.
Hi, this is Adam Walser with ABC Action News. Aventura's administrator Michael Bowman agreed to meet with us in early October. But when we requested a copy of Aventura's emergency plan, he wrote in an email, quote, I feel like I have to be on the defense with this interview. Are you coming to talk to us or put us in a questionable spot? I will be completely transparent, but not if you're planning to tear down everything that we did for our residents. He later canceled to oversee the evacuation for Hurricane Milton. The state report says his emergency plan for that evacuation was rejected since St. Jude the Apostle Cathedral was listed as its evacuation site, even though the church had terminated its agreement with Aventura in February. Instead, residents were taken to St. George Greek Orthodox Church in Tarpon Springs, which is itself within a flood zone. What do you think that says about the planning that went into all this?
I don't know. Questionable.
Do you think that's an appropriate way to care for seniors?
Oh, no, not at all.
I'm I-Team investigator Adam Walser with photojournalist Matt McGlashan, taking action for you.
Adam, thank you. The state has now issued a moratorium on new patients being admitted to Aventura at the Bay. The home's administrator denied an interview request after the state report was released. But they wrote in a statement, quote, we recognize the concerns surrounding our previous hurricane evacuation procedures. Please be assured that we take these concerns very seriously, end quote. You can read the full statement and check out our previous coverage of senior care facilities in Evacuation Zone A on our website at abcactionnews.com. This hurricane season was one the Bay Area will never forget. A historic season for Tampa where the rebuilding is now just beginning. ABC Action News anchor Nadine Yanis looks at the price of paradise and the cost this hurricane season can have on Florida's insurance market.
Well, now we are officially in December. That means the 2024 hurricane season is finally over. It has been a tough one for several here in the Tampa Bay area, like this home in Crystal Beach, still gutted, the humidifier still running months after Helene. The homeowner here obviously relieved that the season is over, but holding his breath on what this could do to insurance rates.
Come on in.
Taking us through the damage from Hurricane Helene.
We were upstairs videoing the water as the water was pouring in.
Takes Scott Morrison right back to that September night and the long days of rebuilding since.
Hardest thing I've ever dealt with. Yeah, easily.
The tears.
Been a rough year.
A reflection of the trauma many in Tampa Bay went through this hurricane season, now finally over.
Yeah, that December 1 date is a big deal for us.
Data from the Office of Insurance Regulation showing us the cost of these storms. In Hurricane Debbie, there were 21,000 claims filed with losses at more than $130 million. Hurricane Helene, losses there now at $1.9 billion. And Hurricane Milton, it doubled. More than 300,000 claims with losses at $3.2 billion. Though devastating, it doesn't even come close to Hurricane Ian, with nearly 800,000 claims. That storm costing more than $21 billion, driving up rates back then. So will rates go up next year?
The overall messaging at this point from the Florida property insurance market is the industry weathered the season very well.
Mark Friedlander with the Insurance Information Institute.
Much of the damage incurred in Florida from this year's hurricanes was storm surge or flood related, not covered by property insurance. But from a windstorm perspective, as we don't have major windstorm losses, nowhere near the level of what we saw with Hurricane Ian.
But as it goes with insurance, there are caveats.
What about if I have filed a claim this storm season?
Typically, rates do adjust upward after a claim because your risk exposure is now increasing.
And if you have flood insurance?
Some of the indications we've seen from the private flood insurance market is that rates may be adjusted upward next year.
Friedlander says it's also too soon to see how reinsurance rates will settle. That's insurance for insurance companies.
I just hope 2025 is better. Maybe give us a break here.
In Pinellas County, Nadine Yanis, ABC Action News.
Everything had fallen over, but yeah, come on in.
Still to come, we're driving Tampa Bay forward. We're listening to your concerns about the road conditions after Hurricane Milton and asking the city what they're doing to address them. And later, protecting your home for the future. The homeowners taking home hardening to new heights. We're driving Tampa Bay forward as more road problems are coming to light due to the summer flooding and back-to-back hurricanes. And we've heard from Tampa drivers voicing concerns about potholes and cracked roadways. The issues are sending cars to the repair shop and costing people hundreds of dollars. People are fed up and hoping the city will fill some of those potholes quickly. Some reached out to us hoping to see changes.
I mean, there's a lot of potholes around this city. And people have that problem all the time.
The city says it's seen an increase in road damage because of the flooding and the hurricanes delayed their normal repair schedule. Crews say they're now actively working on repairs and are back on schedule. You can track those repairs and submit other road issues to the city. We put the link to do so on our website at abcactionnews.com. Still to come, taking home protection to new heights. The homeowner lifting his house to protect against future floods. After this hurricane season, many Floridians know just how destructive water can be and how costly rebuilding is. So now some people in Florida are taking their flood control measures to new heights. ABC Action News reporter Michael Paluska was there as a home was lifted off its original foundation. And he listened to one man's message for all of us.
Floridians across the state are asking themselves, should they move out of their single-story ranch homes that are in high-risk flood zones, keep getting flooded, or do something extreme and simply lift it?
So it was about 3 days overall, from start to finish. And then we hydraulically lift about 12 inches. And then you lift another 12 inches, set more, another 12 inches.
The hours-long time lapses make this lift look easy. Crews look like worker ants swarming this Shore Acres home. It is a game of lift, level, repeat. But before going high, the hard work started below.
They're literally using shovels and hand labor to opening up these small tunnels underneath.
They are like human gophers burrowing into the unknown.
They're banging a bunch of the old cast iron pipes from the sewer system when they come across that. So we dig, support, dig, and support.
Albert Jossawan, founder of JAS Builders, bought this previously flooded Shore Acres home specifically to lift. It is his very first to show people how it's done and get into the house lifting business. Do you see this moving forward as a market in Florida to protect people?
Absolutely. Once I posted about lifting a house, my phone has not stopped ringing. Phone calls, text messages, emails.
Second flood in 3 years.
And almost got hit.
And almost got hit this weekend with the no-name storm that came through. Mostly panic, like just dread of this happening again and us having to go through the same process over and over again.
Dr. Megan Martin, also in Shore Acres, is down the street and using a different company to lift. She had just moved the family back in from Hurricane Idalia floods, spending months in a tiny condo.
This has been so emotionally draining. It really has been, just literally moving our entire life. There's 6 of us sleeping in one room, and we have 4 cats. We have 4 kids, which is a lot of kids if you're wondering.
For Hurricane Debbie, she used a paddleboard to make it to work. Her house didn't flood. She got lucky because it is still sitting at ground level. Permits holding up the job. We interviewed Martin back in December of 2023. That's when we first started looking into this story. Now she's in a constant race to raise before the next storm. Would it be easier for you to just move and find another house?
You know, with the housing prices and the interest rates the way that they are, I think it would honestly be more expensive for us to do that. So we're gonna raise it to stay.
You don't need a hurricane or a tropical storm to flood the streets. This was a cold front that came through in April. Parts of Shore Acres underwater. Nice house, man. Looks like you had it lifted.
Yeah, it's safer than it was 5 years ago.
That's why David Noah went high. The before and after are mind-blowing. An old school block Florida home now towering over his neighbors like a skyscraper. And you can see just how massive it is. This was a ranch built in the 70s. And as sea levels rise, Noah wanted to go up to the highest height he could.
We had seen FEMA go from 10 feet for base flood elevation to 11 feet. So we went to 16 feet because there's so many people that lifted their houses to 10 feet to get out of the flood zone, and then FEMA changed it to 11, and now they're back in the flood zone and they spent all that money.
Horseshoe Beach, hammered by Hurricane Debbie, hundreds of miles south of landfall. Sarasota got record rainfall in what's dubbed a 100-year storm event. Crystal River, flooded by Idalia. Arcadia, Ian, and the list goes on and on. Jossawan says any home with the right engineers and knowledge can do the lift. The process up close, incredible. Super creepy feeling to be under this house that they've lifted. Crew's still got to go up several more feet, but the next move, you won't even be able to touch the bottom of this house. I think this spot really shows what the heck happened here.
It does. You go all the way from being down this ground level where this dirt is to that height it's at now. Now we can see water, actually. That's a waterfront view now.
The home now sits about 14.5 feet to the bottom of the front door. But if you want to stay, you gotta pay. Can you give me the price tag for this for you?
This one here, for a job like this, we're probably right around the $400,000 mark.
People don't want to leave their homes, so lifting your home up is a better option, even though it's expensive, than going out and getting a new mortgage and a new life.
Yes. For some people, like When you hit that mark where you flooded 4 times, FEMA's going to stop at that point in time. So you either have to lift or you have to sell your house or tear down and rebuild. This is half the cost of tearing down and rebuilding, and that's what makes it feasible for people.
In St. Petersburg with photojournalist Reed Moeller, Michael Paluska, ABC Action News.
Still to come, a sense of normalcy after a devastating hurricane season. The local small business owner helping families celebrate the holidays. After back-to-back hurricanes, many have lost their home and their possessions. So this holiday season, a small business owner wanted to give them a sense of normalcy. So wherever they're staying, he's actually giving them a tree and Christmas decorations. As our Julie Solomon reports, it started with a simple message on a Nextdoor app and turned into a community-wide effort.
Just different wreaths.
Jack Guthrie wants everyone to feel joy this Christmas season.
These are all trees in this area. I think we've gotten 18 so far.
Lights, ribbon, garland, and more, generously given to her by others.
Some are like vintage and really cool. I like this little guy.
Guthrie owns a woodworking company. She restores doors and cabinets. The small business owner posted a message on Nextdoor, a social network connecting people in their neighborhood. She asked for donations of Christmas trees and holiday decorations for people impacted by the 2 hurricanes.
Put a message out on Nextdoor and it was like a snowball effect. It just kind of got really big really fast, as you can see.
After back-to-back hurricanes, she knows many are without a house, without possessions, and without a Christmas tree or decorations.
You lost everything. You may be able to rebuild or afford your own tree, but wouldn't it be nice if a neighbor came and had something for you just to kind of bring you a little cheer up and do something nice?
She says a Christmas tree may spark normalcy or a feeling of togetherness.
Everybody loves a tree at Christmas. It kind of brings a family around it together. You decorate it, make a memory by decorating it together. Trees are special. So I just want to make other people feel special.
She plans to collect donations now through Saturday and hand them out at pickup sites on Davis Islands and Ballast Point. Anyone interested in donating a tree or decorations may email or text her. For more information on how to help, visit our website, abcactionnews.com. In Tampa, Julie Solomon, ABC Action News.
We've been through so much this hurricane season, but through it all, the spirit of the Bay Area and our resiliency have given many new hope. I'm Wendy Ryan, and for all of us here at ABC Action News, thank you for joining us.